Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light, while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, a Merry Christmas Day. We're chasing snowflakes as they're falling down, and follow Rudolph all across the town. Later we meet under the mistletoe, while Santa's busy saying ho, ho, ho. We're feeling jolly, eating Christmas cake, and then we go skating on the frozen lake, saying hi to every friendly face, and later we warm up by the fireplace. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day.
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free. Hey y'all, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I hope y'all are doing good today. Hey, Jenny Jen, Anders, Queen Olive, Ruth Ann, Hobby Farmer, Serena, Abellis, Toxic, Bad Girl, Pinto, I Know Who Killed You, Miss Kimmy Akers. My goodness, there's a lot of y'all in here today. Indie Girl, how are you doing? Cozy Constellations, I see you there. Good to see you. Overprotected, I Know Who Killed You. Good to see you guys. Wow. Pinto, there you are. And Overprotected. Aw. Thank you guys for being here. I want us to remember that unfortunately there is a lot of people out there that are spending the holidays without their loved ones. So please keep them in your thoughts and prayers today. Hey, Mommy Ball. And there's a lot of people who are just hanging out and spending the day by themselves. So let's send some extra love out to them today. We are going to do a couple of different things. We're going to watch some Mandela effects, and we're going to watch some Christmas crimes. So let me get that pulled up. I'm going to start with 10 Christmas Mandela effects from all time. They are in the description box below. If you would please give them a like and subscribe. Hopefully they won't strike me on Christmas. I'm borrowing it. I'm going to use fair use. Yeah. So let's see what these Mandela effects are.
Some never affected, and others are some.
All right.
December is here, so let's get into some Christmas.
In case you don't know what a Mandela effect is, a Mandela effect is where you remember something one way and then you realize or supposedly it's actually different. So we're going to see what they have to say are some Christmas Mandela effects. Maybe.
Christmas Mandela effects. A Mandela effect is a crazy phenomenon where a group of people have a clear, collective memory of something that apparently never happened. It's a strange phenomenon where some people are always affected, some never affected, and others are somewhere in between. No one really knows why this is, but that's what makes it so fun to talk about. I've got 8 Christmas-themed Mandela effects for you today, so let's get right into it.
All right, so he kind of explained a little bit more in depth about what a Mandela effect is. So let's see. I'm going to pause it when he tells us what the original is and then see how y'all remember it. I hope y'all had a good Christmas, by the way. I hope that you got everything you deserved, and I hope you got to see family and spend time with them. And I hope that if you didn't, we're here for you, and we love you here at the Speculating family, and I love spending time with you guys. You guys, like, my life has changed so much since I started doing this thing, and I met all you guys. Like, really, I mean, it's just amazing, and I really appreciate you guys being here and spending time with y'all. I really do look forward to this.
Starting off today's video is the classic Christmas song, I'll Be Home for Christmas. The lyrics for the song go as follows. I'll be home for Christmas. You can blank on me.
What do you guys think it is? I think it's count. Right? Like, I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me, right? I'm going to give y'all a second to see what y'all say in the chat. That's what I remember. I'm not going to sing it because y'all would all leave, but I remember it being, you can count on me. Oh, Hobby, I love you. No, forget. I forget. It's not count. It's not count, said Abellis. Bad Girl said count on me. Hobby Farmer, if you need to email me, sweetheart, you can. Queen Olive says count on me. All right, let's see what it is. Abella says it's not count. You know what's funny? Abella says it's not count, and Abella is from Canada. So I wonder if it would be different. Like, I wonder if Abellis will get all of them right since she lives in Canada, and then all the people in the States will think that it, get it different, or remember, realize that it's a Mandela effect.
What goes in the blank? Is it you can count on me, or is it you can plan on me? If you're like so many of us.
So, do you remember Abellis being plan on me? Yes, please give the stream a thumbs up, and I appreciate it. You remember songs, Swedish child songs that way?
You probably said you can count on me, but that is now apparently wrong and has always been wrong. It's you can plan on me. Tell me, is this what you remember? This Mandela effect?
That doesn't even seem right. Like, that doesn't even sound like it makes sense. Right. Like, it was some kind of C word. Miss Kimmy Aker says if it's not count, it's call. Right? Hey, Darlene. Bella said, ha. She got it right. Or she said it wasn't count, at least.
Effect has blown away everyone, and I mean everyone. So what about the dozens and dozens of versions of this song? Surely one of them says count, right? Well, let's check them out. What about Bing Crosby?
You can plan.
Michael Bublé.
You can plan.
Frank Sinatra.
You can plan.
I think my kids are on the internet. I'm going to have to make sure they get off.
I got them getting on the internet on mine now.
Okay, thank you. I don't remember that way. Like, it doesn't even sound right. You can plan on me. That doesn't even sound right. Right, like, what does it even mean? You can plan on me. Plan on me being there? Like, when you use the phrase, I'll be home for Christmas, you can plan on me? That doesn't even make sense. You can count on me. Makes sense.
Elvis.
Hold on, they're getting off the internet.
Can plan.
Dean Martin.
You can plan.
Wow. Sorry, y'all. They're getting off the internet right now.
Perry Como.
Keep it off.
You can plan.
If the lyric "You Can Count on Me" exists, which it very well might, it's in none of the classic and well-known versions of this song. So, what happened to it? Why do we all remember this?
Abellis said, remember, it's decades old, language changes. That is weird, isn't it, Serena? Would you have thought it said you can plan on me? Hobby Farmer said it was never plan. Hey, Teresa, thank you for being here. I'll be stoned for Christmas version. I won't be stoned for Christmas, but that is funny. Not even, right, Hobby Farmer said, not even in the dialect from that era. Isn't that something? All right, now we're going to look at Home Alone.
Let's talk about a line from a scene in the classic Christmas movie Home Alone that apparently never existed. Not in deleted scenes, or in its theatrical release, or its trailer, it just doesn't exist. Here's the scene. The two burglars, Marv and Harry, are chasing down Kevin because they're suspicious of him after an interaction where they almost hit him with their van. The chase concludes at a church where the lines, "Maybe went into the church. I'm not going in there. Me neither," are said. That's how the line goes now. So what's missing? Many people remember one of them saying the line, "That place gives me the creeps," but it's no longer said.
Maybe we're in the church.
I'm not going in there.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
That line?
Do y'all remember it saying, That place gives me the creeps. I think I do. And in Home Alone, I think I do remember it saying that place gives me the creeps. I'm gonna back it up because it'll probably make it stop skipping so bad. And we'll see. I mean, it doesn't even sound right again.
Me neither, are said. That's how the line goes now. So what's missing? Many people remember one of them saying the line, "That place gives me the creeps," but it's no longer said.
Maybe we're in the church.
I'm not going in there.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
And then I thought they said that place gives me the creeps. And then they said, yeah, let's get out of here. On Google, it says count. Really? That's interesting, Miss Kimmy. Thank you for looking that up. I need to look it up too. Cozy said, I'm going to watch Home Alone after this. It's my tradition. They watched some kind of cute movie. It was called Candy Cane Lane. It had Eddie Murphy in it last night. It was adorable. And of course, we watched The Grinch. We'll probably watch The Elf today. You don't remember it? That is Joe Pesci.
That line doesn't exist anymore in any versions of the movie, but tons of people online remember this. What about you? Let's talk about The Grinch. Every year around this time, I get comments from people telling me to cover this one. So it's finally time to cover it. Let's do it. What is the name of this Christmas book and movie retelling the story of The Grinch?
So the movie, I mean the book, the title of the book, I think it's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, right? How the Grinch Stole Christmas. You watch Home Alone every year, but you don't remember if they say it or not, Cozy. Jenny said, the holidays can be tough, stressful, and lonely time for many. I'm sending you hugs and love from the bottom of my heart. Know you are loved very much. Yes, we care about you very much here at the Speculating family. If anybody needs to email me or hang out in Discord just to talk or have something to do, I will be in and out for the rest of the day while I'm cooking dinner and stuff. So feel free to get with me because I don't want anybody to feel alone or left out right now on this day. So you saw The Elf and the Grinch yesterday. I swear it was How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So let's see.
Is it The Grinch Who Stole Christmas? Or is it How the Grinch Stole Christmas? This is one of those that didn't necessarily affect me, but there are so many cases of people online who are affected by this that it can't possibly be ignored.
So, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Darlene said, I definitively remember him saying that place gives me the creeps. The creeps, yeah. Sorry, I thought I said it wrong. Yeah, in Home Alone, I do too. Abella said, AS sounds good. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I mean, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of comments and posts out there from people who remember this differently than it is now. The correct answer is How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah.
I want to hear your thoughts on this because so many people
I remember it being How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Remember this differently, and yet all of those people remember it in the exact same way. This is what I find so weird about all of this.
So evidently,
does anyone remember the North Pole? Story-wise,
evidently a lot of people remember it being the Grinch who stole Christmas. Hey, Teresa, Merry Christmas to you, love. So we got that one right. Hey, Sarah Lee. Yes, we are talking about Mandela Effect Christmas Edition. These are really interesting to me. Like, a lot of people think that Nelson Mandela died in South Africa in the 80s, but he is alive or died a long time later, and that's where he gets his name.
it's where Santa and his workshop reside.
The North.
It's where the toys are made and where the reindeers like Dunder and Blixen live. This place is located at the northernmost hemisphere of the Earth, just like the South Pole is located on the southernmost hemisphere of the Earth. This northern point lies diametrically opposite to its southern point and is defined directionally as true north. So tell me, what exists in the North Pole? Is it a snowy landmass or a vast ocean? The answer is a vast ocean.
What exists in the North Pole? A snowy landmass or a vast ocean? I would think a snowy landmass. Who came in? Rubber Ramada. Hey, and happy holidays. Thank you for being here. Hey, Tatiana, thank you for being here. Home Alone is a masterpiece. Abella said ocean. I would think it was a snowy landmass, but I could understand how we would get that one wrong because you think about Santa being up there and it being all snowy and stuff. Nope, it's in Canada. It's ocean. Wow. Interesting.
The Arctic Ocean, to be precise. Obviously, the North Pole doesn't exist as the Christmas story explains it, but there has to be a snowy landmass up there, right? Nope. The North Pole doesn't exist in that sense. Get this, we have known that the North Pole was an ocean as early as the 16th century. So this isn't some new change, it's a fact that we've had for nearly 500 years. These inconsistencies could have spawned from ever-changing ice formations found within the Arctic Sea, or perhaps through changes to this.
Did y'all see that buoy? So that's technically the North Pole. Right there. North Pole. Wow. How interesting. Oh, thank you, Cozy. I put him up when I'm playing stuff that I don't want to get in trouble for playing. Zaya made me that. Queen Anne said, I always picture a snowy landmass when I think of the North Pole. Right. Cozy said the actual North Pole is just water. Sarah said the magnetic North Pole is actually, I think, far northern Canada. Actual geometric North Pole. You're good. That's interesting. It's just a buoy.
100 years. These inconsistencies could have spawned from ever-changing ice formations found within the Arctic Sea, or perhaps through changes to this planet's climate. But nonetheless, as of now, there is no North Pole as a landmass, snowy or otherwise. It's just a big open ocean. Pull up a map and look for yourself. So what do you remember? Am I alone in remembering there being a big snowy landmass on the top of our globes growing up? You have to admit, this is going to be weird for those tech-savvy kids growing up when they Google North Pole and they find an ocean. Good luck with that explanation, parents.
I remember it being a snowy landmass myself.
That's the true scary part of this video.
Oh!
We're looking at the names of Santa's reindeers.
So Abella said, but it freezes over. So maybe that's why we remember it being a snowy landmass. Sarah Lee said, when it comes to the North Pole, think Happy Feet. Remember, they would swim around in the ocean. Oh, yeah. You're right about that. Sarah said she put a picture in Discord if I want to show it. I will see if I can pull it up and email it. Right.
As most of you might remember.
So now we're talking about Santa's reindeer. You saw the Northern Lights in Missouri recently? I thought it was a piece of land too, Rubber. Queen Anne said, how can Santa just live in the middle of the ocean, right? All right, we're talking about the reindeer now.
Remember, they go like this. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, and Vixen, Comet, Cupid, and what comes next? Is it Donner and Blitzen, or Dunder and Blixen? The way I have always known them is as...
It's Donner and Blitzen. Like, it's got to be Donner and Blitzen. There are probably lots of icebergs, yeah. All of the other reindeer? All of the other reindeer instead of all of the other reindeer. Cozy said Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen. But it was Dunder and something else. Dunder and Blixen. I remember Donner and Blitzen. Oh, Teresa, I'm sorry to break your heart, honey. I remember Donner and Blitzen.
Is as Donner and Blitzen. So obviously that can't be right anymore. Their names now are Dunder and Blixen. I'll let that sink in. As always,
Dunder and Blixen. Dunder and Blixen was the original name, said Cozy. Huh. Hey, yeah, I don't remember it that way.
Mandela effect. Sometimes what you remember has never changed. Other times it's completely different. Some affect everyone, and some affect very few. I say this to help all of those who might be confused. I'm sure some of the people watching this remember Dunder and Blixen, but I guarantee the vast majority of people do not. To us, it's Donner and Blitzen.
Yeah, it is. Cozy said they mean thunder and lightning. I didn't know that.
Reindeer names originated in a poem by Clement C. Moore titled A Visit from St. Nicholas all the way back in 1823. This poem is also known today as "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Somehow or another, it seems that every reindeer name has been memorized and recited with perfect clarity over hundreds of years, except for Dunder and Blixen. What do you think about this? Has this always been a mistranslated game of telephone? Or a massive case of misremembering? Or has the Mandela effect made yet another change to our collective history and memory? I can't wait to hear what you have to say below. And for the people with kids out there, get them to name
Oh my goodness, the daggone Christmas tree's on fire. Goodness.
all of Santa's reindeers. I'm super curious to hear what they say. Let us all know in the comments below. Let's actually delve deeper into that poem I mentioned earlier called "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." It turns out there's actually another Mandela effect hiding inside of that poem. So
I posted the first part of this on my what are you doing, Basil? On my community post yesterday or last night. And I've heard about this one, but I can't remember what it is, but I do know there's a Mandela effect in it. So let's see.
So just like with Smokey Bear, sometimes when things are very closely examined, multiple effects can be discovered. I'm going to read a verse from that poem, and I'm going to leave an area blank. I want you to tell me what goes in that blank space. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads, and Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled for a long winter's nap. What?
It was in. Had just settled in for a long winter's nap. Right? I think. That's what I remember. How do we know this guy's telling the truth? He could just be making this all up and trolling us. Well, we can look at Google, but a lot of times, I don't know. I mean, I haven't. This was just one I found that had several in it, so we can look it up on Google. But a lot of times, it's interesting to see when you start talking about these things, people will remember it differently, and so it's interesting to think about. You know, it's just a little interesting, fun thing to try to figure out. I remembered in. A lot of you are saying down. Had just settled down for a long winter's nap. Oh my goodness. Sarah Lee, be careful. Goodness gracious. Indie Girl said, I thought down. You've never heard that poem, Anders? It was almost as good as Stephen Stearns. Oh, Stephen Stearns is Stinky Magoo. I'm going to call him Stinky Magoo. Bad girls copy Annabella's because she's always right. All right, let's see what it is.
What goes in that blank? Is it our brains or is it down?
Oh.
The correct answer is, for some strange reason, our brains. Do you remember that?
What? See, I was wrong. I said in. Y'all are all right when you said down. That's how a lot of people remember it. But our brains? Are you serious? I'm going to look at the book. Let me see if I can find a picture of the book online real quick.
For that? How does that make you feel? I personally remember, and Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. Is this a case of mass misremembering? Did we all remember this poem incorrectly, or has this changed from what you remember? And is yet another example of the Mandela effect. Let me hear all of your thoughts below.
Oh my gosh.
This one is strange. So strange I don't even have an intro.
So, I've got the picture. We're going to watch this and I'm going to mail it to myself real quick. And I've got the actual original poem. Like, it's copies of the original. Hold on, I might be able to pull it up real quick before we go on to the next one. And I can show you the North Pole as well. That is crazy. Like, I just pulled up copies of the original on Google. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so here's a copy of the original, and down here at the very bottom, it says, had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. Are you kidding me? That is crazy. Y'all, that is crazy. Let me show y'all the North Pole real quick. Sarah sent us this, so it shows us the North Magnetic Pole and the geographic North Pole. So maybe right here where it says North Geomagnetic Pole, which is probably what Sarah was talking about, it looks like it's on a landmass. So maybe that's what we're remembering. Right. I'm questioning my childhood too. Like, what the crap? Might end up crying on Christmas. All right, let me pull our video back up real quick. Brain is a strange word to have in the poem. Like, it doesn't even make sense. All right, so let's see what the next one is. That's a pretty picture.
Introduction or a thoughtful question to ask you about it. Have you ever heard of an upside down Christmas tree? What? Yes or no? So the answer is yes. Upside down Christmas.
Wait a minute. An upside down Christmas tree. That's what that picture was of. Hopefully, look at the tree. What on earth is that? Y'all, stop it. Are you serious? There is a such thing as an upside down Christmas tree. Are you kidding me right now? What? How would you even do that? Indie Girl says she's seen one. Rubber said Abella is so smart. She is. What? Y'all? Queen Anne says a lot of people do that. Sarah said if you have animals. Indy said they do it in Alabama and Bama. How do they put it in the ceiling? I'm with Anders. How do you put it on the ceiling? Are you kidding? What?
Question to ask you about it. Have you ever heard of an upside down Christmas tree? Yes or no? So the answer is yes. Upside down Christmas trees are a thing. The upside down Christmas trees are pine trees or fir trees that are flipped upside down. So
look at that thing. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful, but what? Nanny Goat said that her neighbors always had an upside down tree. Yo, I have never in my life would I have ever thought to do something like that. Wow. Turn the house over, of course, said Abellas. Why would it be? I'm with Darlene. Why upside down? It's pretty, but why upside down? Sarah Lee said, I always have my Christmas tree hanging from the ceiling upside down because it's a space saver and I'm anti-Christmas. It is black and only decorated with eyeballs. What? How interesting. I Know Who Killed You said, I think artificial intelligence is causing these Mandela effects. AI has control over the internet and can rewrite codes. It's very possible. I've thought about that too. Bad Girl said, I'm Hungarian. We don't play about our Christmas traditions. And then last one real quick. Sarah Lee said, yes, it's really hard to do if you don't buy it pre-made because you have to flip it upside down and then wire it so it stays open or can be done with fishing line and like a thin wire. Wow. It's a labor of love. Teresa said, this reminds me of when I learned the Little House on the Prairie book series was historical fiction rather than autobiographical. It was devastating until I came to terms with it. Wow, I didn't know that. Mommy Boss said, how do you make it stay up there? I guess with wires and things. Let's see if they tell us.
So that the wider base is at the top and the smaller top is pointed downwards. In modern days, this trend caught on when holiday window displays at major stores would put upside down Christmas trees out so that more ornaments could be seen by the public. This bizarre phenomenon supposedly dates back to 12th century Eastern Europe, where the upside down Christmas tree was meant to represent the Christian Holy Trinity. Somehow. Have any of you ever?
Wow. Like, I could understand shops doing it somehow to show more Christmas ornaments, but like, it feels like sacrilegious to me. Hey, Tiffany, thank you for being here. Yeah, that would be me. The thing would come crashing down and kill me and like 2 of 4 kids. Right, Teresa? I'm ruining Christmas this here day. I am ruining Christmas. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to ruin Christmas.
Ever heard of this now popular and widely known Christmas tradition? Upside down Christmas trees just seem impractical and silly to me. Yet here they are. Do you place your trees like this? Do you know anyone that does?
Wow.
Have you even seen this before?
No.
I never have. Not once. In all the department stores, all the friends' houses, all the homes I've lived in, I've never heard of this before.
So that's an actual tree, like from outside, and you can see how the branches all lay up. Like you could do it like if you used fishing line or wire or something, you could open them up. But like if I came in your house and saw that, I would be like, something's going on here. I don't feel safe right now.
Historical Mandela effect changes are the weirdest ones to talk about because for some people, this is a totally normal thing. And for the rest of us, it's completely
Now that looks pretty with the icicles hanging upside down like that.
unheard of.
December is here, and like many, Christmas is on my mind. So let's make a Christmas video. Obviously, decorations and colder weather are a part of the season, but so is Christmas shopping, if you participate in that. I did most of my shopping online, but just to feel nostalgic, I went and visited some physical stores. Now, as I walked around one of these dying ancient retail malls,
I didn't go to the mall, but I did go to Walmart. I went to Wally World.
monuments, I noticed something that really confused me. I heard a classic song playing over the speaker in a department store. Upon hearing the song,
And I did do Amazon as well.
I got a little confused.
Up on the housetop, reindeer paws.
Up on the housetop? I always thought it was up on.
Up on the housetop. I thought it was up on the rooftop, right? Australians felt at home. Huh. My chat's not loading. I don't know if y'all are talking or not, but okay, there we go. Yeah, Teresa said rooftop. I always remembered it being up on the rooftop with old Saint Nick, or is old Saint Nick up on the housetop.
Up on the rooftop. So I went and looked it up, and here are the results. Up on the Housetop is a Christmas song by Benjamin Hanby in 1864. Now, if you're like me, you remember it being up on the rooftop. So, did it change? Are there variations of it, or is this an example of the Mandela effect? Well, we're going to get into that, but first a quick and tragic history lesson about Benjamin Hanby.
Benjamin Hanby. So this is the man who wrote the song. Miss Kimmy says it's housetop. Yeah, Zan said click, click, click. Right, that's what I remember. Anders said when I was a kid, we would reach Australia if we dug deep enough. We always said China. We're going to dig to China. Mary said housetop. Hey, Mary, and thank you for being here.
Why, you might ask? Well, I'm in a giving mood, and what's better than an interesting backstory? Benjamin Hanby was born in Rushville, Ohio, to a local bishop by the name of William Hanby, who was involved in the administration of the Underground Railroad. If you don't know what that was, the Underground Railroad in America was a network of people, both black and white, offering aid and shelter to escaped slaves from the South. Benjamin Hanby vehemently opposed slavery, which made it difficult for him to blend into the more conservative fraternity that the church attracted. Not only that,
I'm glad to know that he did help in that movement. Teresa said, I've heard it both ways, though. Ohio. Bad girl's in Ohio right now. So this is your state, love.
took over his father's church, he ran into a lot of trouble. Because he had alternative views on church music compared to what was deemed acceptable at the time, as well as how to educate children. Because he failed at keeping his position in numerous churches, Benjamin had trouble providing.
Have you guys seen those things like where you can go in the house and it's like a historical house and stuff like that and you can look at it and go in? We did Old Salem, which is in Winston-Salem, and they like dress up in old-timey clothes and like the whole town is like walking back in time. We did that in July, I think. I loved it. I love that stuff. I love antiques and things like that. So all of that stuff, really, I love it.
Providing for his wife and children. There was one point in time where he wrote a song called Darling Nellie Gray, which he sent the manuscript of to a publisher called the Oliver Ditson Company of Boston. He assumed that the song had been rejected until he heard his sister singing it at a recital. It was soon discovered that the Oliver Ditson Company had published the song under Hanby's name, but claimed the copyright for themselves. So Hanby sued the firm, but only won $50, which is about $1,560 today, as well as $12. So
the firm stole his song and copyrighted it, and he sued them and basically got $1,050. Hobby Farmer said, I have a piano book in storage. This song I used to have to practice. I will pull it out this coming year and look. Yeah, do that and let me know what it says. Mary said, actually, I think I sing it both ways. Pennsylvania. Anders said, they say the whirly in the bathtub goes the other way in Australia. I haven't checked if that's true. That's funny.
12 free copies of sheet music. Benjamin eventually ran a singing school and crafted music for the John Church Music Company, but he still didn't make enough money to take care of his family. When it was all said and done, Benjamin Hanby ultimately crafted and published over 80 songs, but passed away at the young age of 33 from tuberculosis. Like so many great artists throughout history, he wasn't truly recognized during his lifetime. Now that you have the background on Benjamin Hanby, let's get to the bottom of this mystery surrounding his song. Upon doing some research, the first thing I found was an article called Up on the Rooftop on a website called ChristmasHeadquarters.com. Okay, this sounds promising. I mean, ChristmasHeadquarters.com? That sounds pretty official to me. Then I read it.
Yeah, I remember Up on the Rooftop, but the video says Up on the Housetop.
Throughout the article, the writer calls it Up on the Rooftop, but the embedded YouTube video says Up on the Housetop. Huh? How could you not notice that difference? You put the video in your article.
Right.
The article even says Up on the Rooftop was written by Benjamin Hanby. If you click on his name, it takes you to the Wikipedia page for him, where it says he composed Up on the Housetop. Why does the name keep changing?
That's interesting.
Was it written to be Housetop, or was it written to be Rooftop? Well, apparently, the original lyrics are as follows.
Up on the house, no delay, no pause. Clatter the steed of Santa Claus.
Wow. Up on the house, no delay, no pause. I don't even remember that. Clatter the steed of Santa Claus. Down, throw the chimney with loads of toys. Ho for the little ones, Christmas joys.
Down throw the chimney with loads of toys. Ho for the little ones, Christmas joys.
He's got it in like a scary sounding voice with scary music.
I'm gonna be honest, the shorter version right there, I think that's incredible. I think we should all just sing that instead. Anyway, apparently it wasn't ever Rooftop.
Wow.
And as for Housetop, that's only in the name of the song. In the original lyrics, it only ever says house. So what do you think about all this? Or does it even matter? Is this just a song that changed over time? Just like how people in different parts of the world use different colloquial phrases, such as housetop or rooftop, and because of that, the lyrics changed over time? Or would you attribute this to the Mandela effect? Honestly, for this one, I don't really know. I always grew up singing On the Rooftop, but maybe I was wrong all along. Upon digging further, I found a ton of renditions of this song using housetop, and only a few country versions using rooftop. So
I sung it as rooftop. Oh, that's a good point. Zan said probably changed due to copyright. That's interesting, and it might be considering the copyright issue. Basil 2.0 looks puzzled. He is puzzled. Basil 2.0 is like, what is even going on up here? What have you got me watching, lady?
So make of that as you will.
For this next Mandela effect, we are traveling to an island called Svalbard. This Norwegian archipelago is located in the Arctic Ocean way north of Europe. Have you ever heard of this island before? From what I have come to understand during my research, Svalbard is a hotly contested Mandela effect.
I've never heard of Svalbard. Y'all can let me know if y'all have ever heard of it. Basil's on the bed. I'm trying to get a picture of him opening his Christmas present, but he has chewed on everything but his Christmas present. Okay, Queen Anne, enjoy your kids. So I don't ever remember. Indie Girl said, I know about Svalbard or Svalbard. I can't remember how he said it because I've never heard of it. Yes, seeds are hidden there. Abella said seeds are hidden there. So is that like where they keep because I know they keep a supply of seeds like to grow or whatever. Is that what you're talking about? Teresa's never heard of it either. There's a lady on YouTube that lives there. Oh wow. They have polar bears, said Indie Girl. I know who killed you, said I'm Norwegian. Svalbard or Svalbard. It's ours. Oh wow. So y'all have heard of it. Seed bank. Yeah, the seed bank.
Numerous people claim that they have never seen or heard of this island before, despite globes, atlases, and world maps being widespread and prevalent in schools across the United States of America. Pulling up pictures of those same globes and world maps and atlases today shows Svalbard sitting right where it belongs, as if it's always been there.
Maybe that is a beautiful picture. Hey, Smokey Joe, thank you for being here. Merry Christmas, love. Maybe it just wasn't really talked about because it's not like a continent like Russia or Asia or North America or, America or whatever. So maybe that's why we don't remember it, some of us. Like, if we lived there, like I Know Who Killed You does, then we would probably know more about it. It'd be like the Hawaiian Islands and Puerto Rico and things. Like, maybe people in other countries aren't as familiar with those islands as we are that live in the States. I Know Who Killed You said I wanted to move there, but no new people are allowed to move there. Really? How interesting. I wonder why. Yeah, the seed bank is kept there so they won't get extinguished. That's a good idea. I mean, we should have a stash of seeds just in case anything happens. I have stash of seeds under my bed, actually.
Claiming to be an expert on this one, I just think it's very interesting and pretty fascinating that so many people are arguing over this. Have you ever heard of it before? I'm sure there are more than a few of you asking yourself, how is this even related to Christmas? Well, it's pretty simple. It has polar bears.
Yep, it has polar bears, like y'all were saying. It has polar bears. Look at the babies. Look at the babies. Look at them.
And even in Santa Claus's official mailbox. Wow. I'm not even joking. Not to mention there's a man named Santa Claus that lives there in an old mine. I'm not joking. Go look it up.
There is a man named Santa Claus that lives there in an old mine? What?
I guess what happens in the Arctic Ocean stays in the Arctic Ocean.
Abellis, it is funny that you say that because, like, I also, like, the stuff I grow in my garden is all heirloom and organic, right? So I'll save the seeds. And I had a couple of packets that I hadn't put up yet, and he ate them. I was like, Basil, stop eating my seeds. Teresa said the house entrances are narrow to discourage or prevent polar bear intrusion. You have to be healthy and self-sufficient to live there because they don't have much health services. Oh, wow. They were some deadly babies, weren't they?
Frosty the Snowman is a childhood classic to many in the United States. He was a snowman brought to life through magic in a 1950 recording, but became a household name in his 1969 animated film debut. Frosty the Snowman is a memorable character, and if you ask most people, they can describe every detail about him. But miraculously, Frosty is now missing something. So here's what I'd like you to do. Visualize all of the accessories and clothing articles on Frosty the Snowman. Now, what do you...
I think I remember this one. I think it has to do with the corncob pipe.
You see. Let's see what we've got. We have a button nose, we have two eyes made out of coal, and here is the Mandela effect. Which of these items did he never adorn in the 1969 film? An old silk hat? A corncob pipe? A red scarf? A broom? Frosty the Snowman has an old...
I think it's the corncob pipe. And this one really got to me because I specifically remember the corncob pipe. In the pictures, he has all of that. Like in the old pictures of Frosty the Snowman, he's got the hat. Sorry, I'm walking. He's got the hat. He's got the red scarf. He's holding the broom, and it's the corncob pipe. But some people say that it doesn't. The corncob pipe is not there.
Old silk hat, a broom, and a corncob pipe, but has surprisingly never worn a red scarf.
Oh, it's the red scarf. I seem to remember the red scarf. Y'all follow a YouTuber that lives there? I swear I remember that red scarf. It's dark 24/7 now that it's winter there. Oh, wow. How interesting. You guys know a lot about that place. I had no idea it even existed.
Do you remember a red scarf?
I don't.
For some reason, dozens of people online.
And that's the picture I was thinking about. I remembered the red scarf, but he had a corncob pipe too, and that's not there. I remembered the broom and the hat.
And seem to remember Frosty the Snowman wearing a scarf. And most remember it being red. So where did it go? Why do so many people remember this detail?
And I remember that picture. That's where the corncob pipe came from.
That now seemingly doesn't exist. It's really interesting. Even some modern day Frosty the Snowman publications and media today show him wearing a red scarf. If you compare the
That is interesting.
past and the present, at some point some artist said, "Oh yeah, of course he has a red scarf," and drew Frosty with a red scarf. Does this prove he used to have a scarf and that the past has been altered in some slight way? Or is this just a massive case of misremembering an iconic childhood character? I'll leave that for all of you to argue over in the comments below.
Wow.
Oh, and before I leave this topic, check out this funny little detail. Look at what the kids are wearing in Frosty the Snowman. You see anything wrong with this image? Did the creative behind these illustrations grow up in a place with...
What's wrong with these images as they're walking behind Frosty the Snowman? I don't know. It looks like they might get a little cold on their legs there. Like she has mittens, a hat, a scarf, and earmuffs, but she's wearing a dress. But then again, I mean, if you think about the time period, most little girls did wear dresses back when this was written. And the shorts for the boys, I mean, why don't they have pants on? Bella said shorts, and Miss Kimmy said shorts. Let's see.
Without snow? Do they not realize it's cold?
Yeah.
These kids are wearing shorts in a blizzard. Anyway, there you have it. 8 Christmas Mandela effects. I hope this year you get everything you want and that you get to spend a bunch of time with the people you love. I have one more video coming out this year, which is my best of 2023. I hope everybody's looking forward to that. I know I am. And then I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take a nice little break and I'll be back in 2024. I hope you're looking forward to it. Until next time, never stop searching.
Goodness. So that was Mandela effects. I found that pretty interesting. Let's see. I think these other ones I have, they might have talked about. Wrong one. I want to scroll down, computer. Oh, don't be stupid. It's probably going to pull that up. Oh my gosh, I just want to scroll down. Basil, stop. Thank you, computer. Okay. Oh, we'll watch this one. This is about the on the first day of Christmas. So we'll watch this one and then we'll go into
today's video. We're going to do a few holiday.
Then we'll go into the Christmas crimes. So this one is the 12 Days of Christmas song.
Themed video.
This is from Agent S. Please give them a like and subscribe. I will make sure that they are in the description box below.
Goes from now on, leading up until the new year. But this is a small example of a presentation I want to do on the Mandela effect. And I haven't recorded a full presentation video yet, but I couldn't resist putting this up because I started listening to Christmas music. And the 12 Days of Christmas is one of the most famous songs that I grew up with, and I still listen to it to this day. So I know the lyrics pretty good, especially since it repeats on the first day, on the second day, on the third day.
Right, and that song, you repeat it over and over and over. So you would think that, yeah, we would have that pretty down pat. I enjoy this, Abellis. I like looking at the Mandela effects.
Say, on the first day of Christmas, my true love. So it's kind of a quiz. So what are you getting in your mind? It's always been my true love gave to me.
Yeah. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. That's what it is. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. Let's see.
So I'm going to play the song because it blew my mind to see this and listen to it.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me.
Sent to me? I don't know about that. It's always been gave to me because
I've never heard sent to me. Abella said sent. Bad Girl said, is it gifted me? Gave. My true love gave to me. That's what I thought it said.
the song predates Amazon or
Just keep us back up
bestbuy.com or any of
a
these
little bit. Sorry, I got distracted.
Sent to me.
Sent to me.
I don't know about that. It's always been gave to me because the song predates Amazon or Best
Sarah said, I remember sent. I remember gave specifically.
Buy.com or any of these other things where you ship or send a gift to somebody. It used to be a very in-person experience where you bring gifts to people. So it was always my true love gave to me. So
Zed said sit is what he remembers too. I remember gave to me. That's what I remember.
So it goes on and on from the first day to the 12th day. Nothing else has changed, but my goodness, that is really strange. I mean, part of my full presentation, the stuff, the Darth Vader line, the Forrest Gump famous line, get those lines and get the stuff from movies, especially that we all grew up with, because
Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all look those up on your own. But like there's some interesting movie Mandela effects too. If you ever look on YouTube at Mandela effects, it'll blow your mind because like they'll get you with some things. They've got me a lot. Indie Girl remembers Gabe too. Yeah, people have been sending gifts long before Amazon. I mean, using the mail was how you communicated across distances. Like the mail has always been a big thing as far as gifts and things. I agree with that.
it's really, really crazy. And some of the stuff has actually been reversed, but this is brand new to me because I was listening to the song not too long ago and it was My True Love Gave to Me. So
Yep.
just wanted to point that out. And also we're going to do, like I said, more holiday themed stuff, more stuff, kind of like pointing out, especially with Thanksgiving and the holidays and companies and being greedy and making people work and getting away from the true nature of these holidays, trying to spend time with your family. And of course,
so I remember that was I think that's it for that one. I'll click this one and see if there's any we haven't heard of yet. This is again Agent S.
Hey y'all, this is the Christmas edition of the Mandela Effect.
This is Guy Fawkes. I did put him in my description box. So if you would give him a like and subscribe, we'll see if these are any different, and then we'll do the Christmas crimes. Zio put out a new video on a Christmas crime we're gonna watch. We love Zio. She's one of my besties.
For Guy Fawkes, the 2017 Christmas edition. If you hear my dryer go off in the background, that's just the way it is. Work must be.
Oh yeah, I recorded myself making some really simple, quick and easy Christmas stuff, and I'm gonna put that out for members only at some point, hopefully later today, maybe tomorrow, because I've still got to film the finishing of one of them. But anyway, I had a rock tumbler going in the back, and I was like, oh God, I forgot to turn my rock tumbler off, so it was loud. Smokey Joe said, I remember it being gave to me. Right, that's what I remember too. And then Abella said they had tiny sleds pulled by rabbits back in the day. But yeah, Basil ain't doing that. Basil is pampered. He lays on this bed in here like he is king of the whole entire household. He is not doing that.
Be done. But
shut the door.
Let's just kind of go through the list. I joked about doing this with Scarab on Christmas Day, just going through the list of things that we have heard reported as changed. So, of course, Rudolph here. Many of you may remember
they do what a
reindeer
cinnamon bud. I told them they.
He had a very shiny.
I told them that they could eat them. I don't know why they come in here asking me. Their daddy's out there with them, sitting right there. Probably have to holler and tell them to eat them. So I'm gonna mute the mic for a minute.
Nose, and if you ever saw, do you remember it ever being? You ever saw him? Or ever saw it. So there's reports of it being referred to as him, and people clearly remember that.
I said you could have them.
The reindeer names are called into question, whether or not you remember Donner or Dunder or Blitz.
Okay, we saw that one. I didn't mean to scream in y'all's ears. Let's see what these are. Okay. Hold on a minute. I went too far because we haven't seen this one.
say for sure that this is a Mandela. A lot of people say it is. I know it's new to me, and I saw this last year. Nightmare Before Christmas, they say Tim Burton and his contribution to that movie, directed, produced. Did he do both? Did he do just one thing or the other? Some people clearly remember what his contribution was, and that is a question. And I'm looking for your comments in this one.
So it says produced and conceived by Tim Burton. I think it was. Okay. Let's see.
In that poem, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, a lot of people remember it saying Ma in her kerchief, but it's actually Mama.
What? We just looked at that one.
The Jingle Bell Rock.
Mama. Do y'all remember it saying Mama in her kerchief? Hey, Natasha, I saw that you came in. Hey, Norma. Good morning and Merry Christmas. This one is Darth Vanderpuss wrote Jingle Bell Time. It's a swell time to rock the night away. Jingle Bell Time. It's a swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Let's see.
Song. People remember it being riding in a one-horse sleigh or maybe sliding, but they don't remember gliding, and that's what it is.
It's gliding. Jingle Bell Rock. A lot of people remember riding, and evidently it's gliding. Then he does the upside down Christmas trees. This one's not, I think we've seen the rest of them. Okay. This one, I remember this one. Hold on. Right here. So this one in the at the end of that poem, a bundle of toys was flung on his back. He'd look like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples so merry, a side of his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. Do you remember that poem? He sprang to his sleigh, to give his team a whistle, and away they flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night, is what I remember. But evidently it's Happy Christmas. So I find that interesting. All right, let's jump into some Christmas crime. I want to save the best for last, which is going to be Zio. So we'll do 5 ridiculous Christmas crimes. Wow, it took a long time to pause. So this is Good Mythical Morning. I have dropped them in my description box below. Please check them out. Happy was in the book that you had. Happy Christmas to all was in the book you had. I remember it being Merry Christmas to all and to all a good night. But Zan said he remembers Happy. Merry Christmas, y'all. Y'all are so sweet. All right. So this is Good Mythical Morning, and it's 5 ridiculous Christmas crimes. They are in the description box. Please give them a like and subscribe. So we're going to learn about some ridiculous Christmas crimes. Natasha said, Merry Christmas, Pumpkin of Bellis. Hope you're having a fabulous day. It was the bestest Christmas ever. Such an awesome experience. It's not going to be too long. I think we'll watch this and then maybe Zio's, because I can't stay on too long. If I have enough time to throw another Christmas crimes video in, we will, but we're either going to do 1 or 2 more videos after this one. Cause, yeah, criminals getting festive because I've got to start cooking. I've just made appetizers so far. I haven't started Christmas dinner, and, I wanted to hang out with you guys. What was the guy that it took 5 years to find his body? Anders. Yeah, Anders was saying that, do you remember the autistic guy that got stuck in a chimney? I haven't. Hey, baby girl. Hi from Florida. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for being here.
In 2014.
How do you steal $2,000 worth of Christmas decorations from your neighbor's yard? Like, did you just take them from their yard and put them in your yard and think you weren't going to get caught? Like, that wasn't very smart.
Here's the couple.
Oh, they look industrious.
Oh,
They look like they could use some
They look-
decorations.
y'all. I'm not gonna talk about people's looks, but I'm just gonna say, y'all, stop it. Okay. Bad girl coffee. I always drank coffee. Coffee and peach Red Bull. Like, that's it. That's all. Coffee and peach Red Bull all the time, every day, all the time. That's my answer. And essential oils. I do doTERRA supplements and stuff. I get a lot of energy from that too. Right? That's what you think. That's what I'm thinking too. Norma, again, Merry Christmas. He never got home from school and instead explored a neighborhood chimney and got stuck. Oh man, that is horrible. I assume you're talking about the autistic person that got stuck. Teresa said real life Grinch. Right. Every morning he'd go out for a walk at like 2 or 3 every morning. So that's going to be 2 or 3 a.m. Right. Bad girl. No, it's okay. So doTERRA does, all natural essential oils, and they travel all over the world to get like the best, most potent, product that's organic. And then they do the essential oils out of it. Now I'm bipolar, and I don't take bipolar medication, pharmaceuticals, because in my opinion, it makes you like a zombie. I can't, I took lithium. I used to be on lithium, and it would make me sleep all day. And when you have children, you can't be sleeping all day, right? So I tried their anxiety supplement. It's called Adaptive, and it works wonders. Like, I just take one a day, and it helps me with my bipolar, my anxiety. It makes me where I can do true crime and not be upset. I will preach by that stuff. It is a miracle worker. And then I also take a turmeric capsule that has organic turmeric and then turmeric oil in it, which is just essentially turmeric that's super concentrated. And I take a metabolism support. It's not a diet pill, but it ups your metabolism, and it gives me a lot of it gives me energy when I take it. It's like they say, like, instead of drinking a cup of coffee, you could take one of the metabolism supplements and then skip the coffee. But I take it with coffee, so I get all of the energy. The adaptive is what I take. ADPTIV, I think is how you spell it. It's doTERRA. It's a little expensive, but it works wonders. But I try not to talk about it too much because I don't want people to think I'm trying to like sell y'all stuff. But if you get interested, I can give you a link that'll give you 10% off. But I would advise you to look into it yourself and see if it's something you're interested in. They have lots of videos on YouTube. I'll type it in chat. Turmeric is great for inflammation, pain. That's what I take for pain now instead of ibuprofen. And then they have another supplement called Deep Blue that gets down in your joints and stuff, and I take that too. For putting the decorations in his yard from the neighbor's yard, 6 months. Wow. Yeah, Anders, the mood stabilizers, I couldn't do it. Like, I was sleepy all the time. Yeah, DOTERRA, if you guys want to look into it. It works. I mean, it's a miracle worker for me. But, that's just me. Like, like I said, if you're ever interested, I can give you my code and you'll get 10% off of your first order. But I mean, not of your first order. You get 10% off, and then you keep getting 10% off, and it like builds up to 15, 20, 25. And then I think it goes up to 25 after a year. Like every 3 months, it goes up by 5%, how much you get off. But like I said, I try not to share it too much because I don't want people to think that I'm like trying to sell you things. You know what I mean? So I don't talk about it much. But it's
Stealing.
They say bowels of holly. I thought it was balls of holly. Adaptive. I think that's how you spell it. ADAPTIV. I think. My neighbor just gave me some bath wash that says it, but it's over there. I can't reach it. Yeah, and then if you just look up doTERRA and adaptive online, it'll show it to you. If you guys are interested, just let me know and I'll drop the link for 10% off on my community post. Oh yeah, it changed my life, really.
Ooh. Bowels. I get it. Just has to ruminate there.
I thought it was
Okay, so he
balls.
decorates the house.
Like deck the halls with, I know it says bowels, but I thought it meant balls of holly, which I don't know where anybody's getting balls of holly. Like that would hurt to be grabbing balls of holly. Right, Zan, that's where I'm at. Like, I'd like to report a crime someone broke in and decorated. Why is that a crime? I would be happy. Oh, he got bath salts for Christmas. Bow or bowel is like a branch. Thank you. I would think, see, I was thinking like balls this whole time, like balls of holly. I'm like, that would be prickly. Pronounce it like bows. Okay, thank you. Bows of holly. So yeah, this man was on some substances and decorated. I would still be happy though, as long as he got out of my house relatively quickly and didn't come back. It does sound better than bowels. Deck the halls with bows of holly. Thought it was balls of holly. So he opened a Game Boy Advance. I don't remember. I don't know if y'all remember those, but yeah, that's not good. If my kids opened their presents before Christmas and I told them not to, I'd probably take the present away and tell them they weren't getting it now and eventually give it to them later down the road. But I'd be mad.
Like, oh, I'm going to open this up in advance.
I'm sure he was. He didn't know what it was.
Just coincidence.
That is a funny coincidence. That is a Nintendo Advanced, Game Boy Advance or Nintendo Advance, and he opened it up in advance.
Hides the Game Boy and tells his parents that he can't find it. Of course, this is not going to work, Brandon. Brandon, this is not going to work. So his mom,
Abella said she's wearing her bikini right now in our daily windstorm. You be careful out there. Don't lose the top. Now, y'all let me think. Do y'all think that's a bit much? I think it's a bit much if that was the only infraction. But like if it was to the point that she had to tell him not to open his Christmas presents and he did anyway, I'm thinking there is an assortment of events that led to that situation. And maybe she was trying to teach him a lesson. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Hobby Farmer said my kid opened his and hid them under the back of the tree. That is funny. Zan said we always found the stash, opened gifts, and then rewrapped them. What? Y'all are bad. What? We would shake the boxes. That was about as bad as we got. And we always do where you can open one on Christmas Eve. Bad Girl said, damn, mommy ain't playing. She is not. Mom had enough. Anders said we got the gifts yesterday. Some people do open all of them on Christmas Eve. We do one and then they open the rest Christmas morning.
Which
we saw that, so we're not going to watch all that. That way I'm not playing the whole video either. All right, I'll do 2 more videos, and I want to finish off with the best one, which is going to be Zio's, our lovely Zio. So this one is from Crime Zone. It's 10 weird and hilarious Christmas crimes. They are also in the description box below. I will skip the intro. Oh, maybe not. Let's start here. All righty.
Covering some of the more strange and amusing crimes that have happened during the Christmas season over the years. Before we get to our list, if you enjoy our videos, don't forget to like and subscribe to Crime Zone for more true crime content like this, making sure to hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest releases. It really helps us to continue building the channel. And if you've watched...
And again, this is Crime Zone, linked in the description box. Crime Zone, if you hear this, the only reason I'm not dropping it in chats because for whatever reason, I can't access my lives once I'm live. So do know that it's in the description box.
Watched a few of our videos already, you might not even realize that you're not subscribed. With that out of the way, here are 10 weird and hilarious Christmas crimes.
Just a wee bit too angry. So I think that this would probably have to do with the Nintendo Wii.
Back in Christmas of 2008, a Portsmouth, New Hampshire couple's holidays quickly went from season's greetings to season's beatings.
Oh my gosh. Look at that ice skating pond. Isn't that pretty? I'm assuming that's what it is, or it's a cul-de-sac or something. Looks like an ice skating pond. That's really cool. They don't have stuff like that here. It's like a rink inside.
When what should have been a fun morning of opening presents turned into an all-out brawl. According to reports, it all started when 24-year-old Randy Young and her boyfriend, 26-year-old Heath Blom, were opening up their presents on Christmas morning at the South Street home where they lived with Blom's grand.
Excuse me. So we know it has to do with a beating. I wonder what they did. They don't look too messed up. This guy might have had something done to his eye right here or something. Let's see what they were beating each other over.
Grandparents. Things were going more or less fine until Blom opened up his present from Young, a Nintendo Wii. While we're guessing that most people, even those not particularly fond of Nintendo, would have graciously accepted the gift, this was apparently not how Blom responded. Instead, he proceeded to loudly complain to everyone in the room that this is not what he had wanted. He had been expecting a $1,000 remote control.
Okay, well, that's called spoiled brat syndrome. And he's grown-ass man? I'm assuming. Stop it, sir.
Airplane instead. Blom's ungrateful and particularly childlike response reportedly continued throughout the morning and into the afternoon,
Wow, what a douche.
during which he repeatedly said he hated his girlfriend's gift to anyone who would listen. Understandably, Young eventually decided that she'd had enough and
Yeah, I would have decided I had enough too. Wii's were expensive back then.
decided to pack up her bags and leave. She apparently hid the Wii before she did so, presumably as a sign of her anger towards her ungrateful boyfriend. However, when Young actually went to leave the residence, Blom allegedly tried to physically stop her, leading to a fight between the two of them in which Young punched Blom in the face and Blom grabbed his girlfriend by the hair and hit her as well.
Ooh, I would have left too. I mean, he was being a complete butt munch.
When police were called to the South Street residence shortly before 2 p.m. that afternoon, they found both Young and Blom with bruises from their altercation. Both were arrested on misdemeanor charges of domestic-related simple assault. In news reports that followed, Young claimed that it was the worst Christmas ever. For his
No doubt, but sir, you made it that way. Abellas said, here, well, not in Victoria, but in the colder parts of Canada, parents sometimes make ice rinks in the backyard for their little ones. That is super cool. That is so cool. We don't have, like I said, they just have like ice skating rinks that are inside here. They don't have them outside. They might over in the mountain region, but I don't know. I don't know if it gets cold enough there.
For his part, Blom attempted to explain his actions by saying he believed that his girlfriend was stealing the Wii when she attempted to leave the house. Not exactly the best excuse in the world, if you ask us, since he had made it pretty clear before that point that he didn't care about the present.
Right. How are you going to act like you were mad that she was taking the Wii when you threw a damn fit about it to begin with? High on holiday spirit. I bet this one has to do with alcohol.
An 11-year-old Ohio boy got the shock of his life during the Christmas season of 2011 when he discovered that a strange man had broken into his family's home and was...
You can't buy your kids gifts, but complain about the ones you did get? Ugh, I know, right? Ridiculous.
busy getting into the holiday spirit. According to reports, sometime in early November of 2011, 44-year-old Terry Trent broke into a home belonging to the Henderson family in the Dayton suburb of Vandalia. Once inside, he began to hang up an assortment of Christmas decorations, including a large wreath on the house's garage door. After that,
I think this might be the one we just heard about. So that might be the picture of the guy that was high on substances, on bath salts.
He lit some candles, turned on the TV, and started to relax. Drawn by the loud volume of what Trent was apparently watching, which we can only assume was a Christmas movie, The 11-year-old came out of his room to find the strange man sitting on his couch. Apparently, Trent was even playing with a couple of the 11-year-old's toys. Not entirely sure what to do about the situation, the boy called his mother, who was actually just next door. She immediately called the police. Apparently, when Trent realized that the 11-year-old was there, he was extremely polite to him and immediately apologized.
Wow. How interesting. Yeah, that is bizarre. Them bath salts will make people bizarre to begin with.
He said he didn't mean to scare him and that he would grab his things and go. Police soon arrived, and he was arrested without any further incident. According to reports at the time, Trent had a history of drug charges, and it's believed that he was high on bath salts when he broke into the Hendersons' home.
Yeah, this is the one we heard about.
Though he had a pocket knife in his possession at the time of his arrest, those that knew him said he wouldn't have hurt a fly, describing him as a caring person who was involved with the Boy Scouts and local church programs to help convicted felons currently in prison.
How is he doing all that while he's on substances, though? Like, evidently he has a bunch of drug charges and he's high right then, but you're around Boy Scouts and helping people. I'm a little concerned. He looks like a young Richard Allen. He kind of does, doesn't he? A lack of Christmas cheers? Maybe. Yeah, that's not reassuring, is it, Teresa? If I had to guess, I would say this one is about maybe somebody getting mad about people not cheering for a sports event or some kind of Christmas thing.
Back in 2013, a South Carolina man found out the hard way just how...
That is the cutest squirrel ornament that I have ever seen in my entire life. That is absolutely adorable to me. Maybe I'm just weird.
nuts his common-law wife was when she beat and stabbed him with a ceramic squirrel decoration because he failed to bring home beer.
What the crap? She beat and stabbed him with a ceramic squirrel because he didn't bring her no alcohol. Are you freaking kidding me? I think it's time to leave that relationship. Excuse me, y'all. I am eating candy today because it's Christmas.
According to reports, on December 24th, 44-year-old Helen Ann Williams was waiting for her husband to bring back a case or two of Christmas cold ones, but he arrived at their North Charleston home that night empty-handed. He explained that all of the stores had been closed and there was nothing he could do. After delivering the bad news, the man obviously assumed that the two of them would be able to move on without issue and began to make himself a sandwich in the kitchen.
Yeah, she was having none of that. Is her name Sarah? Right. She was out of beer. Of course, the stores aren't open on Christmas Day, you crazy.
However, this assumption proved to be incorrect when Williams grabbed a nearby ceramic squirrel decoration and smashed it over his head. The attack didn't stop there, though.
Dang, he was just in the kitchen making himself a sandwich, and she had to go all psycho.
When the ceramic squirrel broke into pieces, Williams used at least one of them to stab her husband in the shoulder and chest.
Lord Jesus! She was trying to get her drink on. She was a little bit too aggressive about it. Goodness.
Thankfully, the man was able to go to a neighbor's house and call the police.
Thank God.
When they arrived and questioned Williams, she claimed that her husband had fallen and cut himself. However...
Wow. See, y'all, it's not always the man that's the abusive one in the relationship.
Her officers did not buy her excuse, as among other things, Williams literally had blood on her hands. She was arrested and charged with criminal domestic violence, and her husband was treated for his injuries.
My goodness. That's another beer one. Ho, ho, hold my beer.
In January of 2016, a 67-year-old Washington man quickly made headlines when he was arrested for a DUI while driving in Idaho. While you may be wondering what the Christmas connection is here, that's because we haven't told you the man's name. He had it legally changed to Santa Claus. According to reports, Mr. Claus ran afoul of the law when he was spotted driving in the wrong direction on a road in the city of Post Falls. When he was pulled over by police,
I am eating candy, and Basil just about attacked my hand to get some of it. He probably shouldn't have candy, but he's having it right now. He's so spoiled.
He was still traveling in the wrong lane. When questioned about his behavior, Claus pleaded ignorance, saying that he was unfamiliar with the area. However, police soon came up with their own theory about his erratic driving when they smelled alcohol on his breath while talking to him. Claus admitted to having, quote, 3 or 4 beers at a local restaurant and subsequently blew over the legal limit during a breathalyzer test. Santa Claus was arrested, though later had his DUI reduced to misdemeanor reckless driving because he cooperated with police. He pled guilty.
That right there is what you call a bad Santa.
And paid a $700 fine.
I turned the camera on to record him because I'm trying to make y'all members only, like a couple videos of him. And every time I turn the camera on to record him, he stops. You little boo-boo kachoo over there. Oh, you did? Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you, Abellas. Rachel says, so funny. Post Falls is about 20 minutes from me. Oh, really? A short-lived Christmas caper?
In the lead up to Christmas of 2014, 27-year-old Gerard Dupree and 30-year-old Tara Scott likely thought that they'd come up with the perfect holiday caper, one that would allow them to steal some high-priced toys and get away without being caught. The plan was simple. The pair would go into Walmart, Dupree would pretend to have a heart attack, and while everyone was distracted, Scott would make off undetected with stolen goods. On December 16th, the pair carried out their plan at a...
Well, that's an interesting way to steal, but you would be on camera. Abella said there are bad girls, and then there are bad Santas.
Walmart store in Lake Wales, Florida. Initially, it seemed to go off without a hitch. Dupree waited until Scott had grabbed the items he was there for and had placed them in his cart. Then he clutched at his chest and dropped to the ground near the entrance of the store. Soon, a group of concerned customers and employees had gathered around, and 911 was called.
You see him right there, holding his chest and dropping to the floor?
Meanwhile, Scott rolled his cart out the door and loaded his items into the SUV he and Dupree had driven to the store in. When the coast was clear, Dupree miraculously sprung up off the floor, dusted himself off, and walked out to the parking lot to meet his accomplice.
Well, that was stupid. I mean, if you were going to do that, you would have to ride it all the way out and go to the hospital and everything. Not trying to tell anybody how to be a criminal, but I don't know why you didn't think you were going to have to do all that.
Unfortunately for the two men, while their charade had successfully distracted employees and customers, the same could not be said for Walmart's store surveillance cameras. The crime was quickly uncovered when the footage was reviewed, and within 2 days of the theft, both Dupree and Scott had been arrested and charged with grand theft.
Yeah, remember I said you can't hide from the cameras.
For those wondering what the pair actually stole, you're in luck. We actually do know. Apparently, the entire crime was carried out so that Scott could steal a motorized Barbie car, a Leapfrog tablet, and a Barbie Glam vacation home. The items reportedly had a total value of approximately $370.
Now, I'm not trying to feel bad for a criminal, okay? But, like, if the man had no job and it was for his daughter, I don't feel quite as angry about the situation. Yeah, he should have figured something else out. Stealing is wrong and you should pay for it. But that makes me think it was for, like, his daughter or granddaughter or something. And that makes it different to me personally. But maybe I just have a soft spot for stuff like that. Teresa said Walmart has excellent cameras according to body cam videos, right?
Time they were stolen.
Hey Zio, we're playing your video next. And Zio's in the description box as well. So make sure if you're not subscribed, you sub up. You must visit Walmart if you ever get the chance to in the US. If I could trade places with you for like a week, I would. And you could go to all the Walmarts you wanted to, and I'm going to go to the Alps, please. Thank you. Yep, I'm playing your video. I should have asked you first. Do you care if I play your video? I know you don't. Real life Grinch.
All the folks down in Texas liked Santa a lot, but Aaron Urbanski from Cleburne did not.
Oh.
Aaron hated Santa and believed he was a heathen and decided that everyone should know of his reasons. All right, that's enough rhyming.
Okay, there is a heathen Santa, though. It's Krampus. Have y'all ever seen that movie, Krampus? We watched that at Christmas time, at Christmas, too. I always watch Krampus with the kids. I like that. We watched that Thanksgiving horror movie this year. It was all right. But that one, like I said, they watched last night with Eddie Murphy called Candy Cane Lane, I think they said it was. It was super cute. Welcome back, Miss Queen Olive Ruth Ann. We love you too, Zio. And Bella said they're huge. There's a crazy amount of stuff. Yeah, you can get like anything at Walmart. And if you can't get it there, you can get it on Amazon. Hey, all things serious. I hope you're having a good Christmas. Merry Christmas, love.
For now, on the morning of December 8th, 2018, many residents of Cleburne, Texas, excitedly arrived at St. Mark United Methodist Church for the annual pancake breakfast with Santa put on by the Cleburne Kiwanis Club. Aside from being a fun, festive outing for families, the pancake breakfast was a charity event meant to raise money to buy Christmas gifts for children in need. Things were going well until about 10 a.m.
That is a super sweet idea that you could go have breakfast with Santa and they do like a cheap, pancakes are pretty cheap to make and then raise money for kids' Christmas in the area. So your voice is nice and I like your voice, but I'm the same way. I can't stand to hear myself talking either. So I understand, but I'm going to play your video. I saved the best for last, which was yours. So after that, we'll play another Christmas song and then that'll be it for me today.
When local police received reports about a disturbance at the church. When officers arrived at the scene, they were told that a group of 3 people had shown up and were loudly and aggressively trying to spoil the morning's festivities. According to reports, the incident began when 30...
They didn't go out there and protest Santa having pancakes with them babies. That is not Aleister Crowley, but the other... The man, the creator of the Satanic Church. And the thing says, I'm glad that Christian parents don't mind or something children worship. I saw a video and I will drop it in my comment section. I mean, I'll make a post, okay? And I watched a video and it told me how a lot of the things we think are pagan about Christmas actually are biblical and they go back to before paganism, from what I understand, because like I always thought the Christmas tree was kind of pagan, and bringing the outside in was supposed to be, but it's actually not. So I'll drop that. You guys can check it out later if you want something to watch. It's got a lot of history in it, though. Teresa said heathen originally meant a person who lives on the heath or poor quality land. I did not know that. Anders said we had heathen Santas before. Now it's a Coca-Cola image and it's based on the Greek saint, Saint Nicholas. Yes. Church of Saint Anton LaVey. Thank you. Anton LaVey. Thank you. And then the other one says true Christians don't celebrate wicked holidays.
31-year-old Aaron Urbanski and 2 others arrived to protest the event. They started by standing across the street from the event, yelling, "Santa isn't real," through a bullhorn while holding signs. Though this was certainly a nuisance.
Why would you do that to a bunch of children?
It obviously hadn't gotten Urbanski and his associates the attention they had wanted, because soon after, they allegedly came directly onto church property, continuing to yell that Santa wasn't real, while now actively confronting attendees of the pancake breakfast. Apparently, when police arrived, the group of protesters were busy confronting a woman who was with her kids near her car. Police.
That is so sad. This post says, don't mess with Santa. While I understand folks' right to protest, Claiborne loves Santa, and those protesters who were naughty and broke the law when they trespassed were arrested promptly. Guess they wanted coal in their stockings to go with a court appearance.
Police allegedly told them to get off the property, and 2 of them listened. Though Urbanski was allegedly uncooperative. He was arrested and later charged with criminal trespassing. Urbanski would later attempt to explain his actions by saying that he was a born-again Christian who believed every word of the Bible and was against lying.
I mean, that's a controversial subject. Abella said, have you ever read the Satanic Church tenets? I have not. She says they're very interesting. The church doesn't actually worship Satan. Yeah, they say that. I know they say Satan is, you have to be Christian to believe in Satan, and so they don't. But I do know that, but I haven't looked at their stuff. Jenny said, neighbors came off to drop Christmas dinner they made, so I had to go. Oh, no, you're fine. I'm glad that they brought some Christmas dinner for you. That's awesome. They say that Christmas is a hedonistic holiday now. Yeah, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to put in a community post how they say it's actually not. It's Christian. It predates, the Christian part of it predates the hedonistic part of it from what I see, from what I understand from that video anyway, if it's true. Zan said, I would have loved seeing that kind of Christmas excitement as a kid. Would be interesting.
In a legal motion attempting to get the charges against him thrown out, he argued, quote, ergo, because Santa does not exist, it is a lie/sin to lead children to believe that Santa is real or to do things in Santa's name, because acts of Christian charity should be done in Christ's name and not in that of a false idol. While we unfortunately could not find out what ultimately happened to
I mean, I can understand his thinking in that.
Urbanski, it seems that this argument was dismissed by the courts, as we came across a document from the State Court of Appeals that affirmed the charges against him in November of 2019.
Dreaming of a green Christmas. I bet it has to do with marijuana. Zan said, my neighbor brought me some brisket too. So kind. That was so kind. I love the Christmas giving spirit.
In January of 2015, a 57-year-old California man was arrested after he was caught illegally dispensing a chemically induced bit of post-Christmas cheer at a local restaurant. According to reports, at approximately 4 p.m. on January 5th, police were dispatched to a Buffalo Wild Wings location in the city of Seaside in Monterey County after they received calls that a man referring to himself as Santa was handing out handfuls of marijuana to customers and employees there.
I knew it when it said green. I knew it wouldn't be about marijuana. I mean, he was just sharing his Christmas fortune with everybody. Dang, I wouldn't have locked him up. Anders said it's called Jewel here. Jewel, which is a heathen word, Odinist kind of. Yes, I've heard that. St. Nicholas was a real person, all things serious. Yes, he was. And he used to, we do like a historical part for homeschool, and we did that. I think we talked about that last year. I don't know if we did this year. But he helped lame children and sick children, I do believe, of the area. And that's why they called him. That's where we get the Santa Claus thing from, because St. Nicholas actually helped all the children in the area, from what I understand. He didn't wear red. I think it was a white cloak. No, he might have wore some red. I'm not sure. Zan said, my Christmas dinner is going to be barbecue brisket, Sammy with slaw. That sounds good. That's a good sandwich.
There. When officers arrived at the restaurant, they were told that the man was wrapping the marijuana in napkins and giving it to people, telling them he had a gift for them.
I mean, marijuana's illegal, but that was super nice. I wish I'd have been one of the people. Not that I smoke or anything, but that would have been an interesting happening in my daily adventures outside.
One employee at the Buffalo Wild Wings was given an especially large helping of the marijuana, and the man had even stuffed a good amount in the restaurant's tip jar.
Wow.
Though the man claimed his name was Santa, police were eventually able to identify him as 57-year-old Randy Lang.
Okay, Teresa, thank you for being here.
When officers searched Lang's belongings, they found more than 2 additional pounds of marijuana that had been pre-packaged.
Wow.
Lang was subsequently arrested for furnishing marijuana.
Oh my goodness. You won't guide my sleigh tonight, they said. Legal here. Sold in mails, no joke. In some places it's legal here, but not all states yet.
Back in December of 2009, a 55-year-old man from the city of Sparta, Wisconsin, was charged after a bizarre incident in which he drunkenly showed up in the yard of a local family dressed as Santa and inquired about the location of his reindeer. According to reports, the incident began on the afternoon of December 13th.
You're too early, sir. You're too early.
When a woman named Tina Reinhardt saw a man dressed as Santa get out of a vehicle on her street and stumble into her yard where her children were playing. The man proceeded to hug the kids before asking them repeatedly if they knew where his reindeer were.
Oh my goodness.
Reinhardt responded to the situation the way most concerned parents would and called the police. When officers arrived at the scene, they found the obviously intoxicated Santa still there, as well as another man who had been driving the car he arrived in. They were subsequently identified as Thomas and Kevin Arnold. Thomas was cited for having an open can of beer in a vehicle, while Kevin, who was also allegedly drunk, was arrested for impaired driving. The two were reportedly on their way home from a Christmas party at the time of the incident and didn't mean any harm.
Oh my goodness. So what made you stop in the kid's yard? Hey, Indie girl. Okay, honey, you have a good day and Merry Christmas, y'all. We are Sparta, right?
Though evidently their drunkenness was obvious even to the children who were present. 9-year-old Katie Doherty, one of the children who Thomas Arnold had approached, remarked to local media at the time, "He smelled like alcohol, so I knew it wasn't the real Santa because Santa doesn't drink alcohol."
Oh my gosh. That is crazy. The Santa Claus burglar.
Though this 2010 crime didn't take place until 2 months after Christmas, we felt that it was still festive enough to include on our list, given that it had garnered the perpetrator behind it the nickname the Santa Claus burglar. On February 19, 2010, a concerned resident in Seattle's Seward Park area called police after they heard yells for help coming from their neighbor's home.
Oh my gosh. So what was he doing on the daggum roof?
When emergency responders arrived at the scene, they discovered that none of the residents of the house were in trouble. However, there was someone inside. It turned out to be a naked man who had gotten himself wedged in the house's chimney.
Oh my gosh, y'all. You heard somebody hollering for help and found out it was a naked man in your neighbor's chimney. What in the world? That is crazy. Tatiana said tarot cards have an upside down hanging man image as their king has David's star above. That's interesting.
After 45 minutes of chiseling into the brick chimney, the man was finally freed. He was subsequently identified as 23-year-old Sean Chanel. Though Chanel was reportedly not injured, needless to say, authorities wanted an explanation from him.
Sir, what in the hell is going on here?
He responded that his friend had thrown his backpack into the chimney and that he was simply trying to retrieve it.
And he, thought his clothes got stuck in the chimney? So he took them off? They were causing friction? It was with his clothes on, he couldn't get down the chimney like he could if he was naked? I don't get the naked part.
He said that he had placed a chair on an air conditioning unit in order to gain access to the roof, but had gotten stuck once inside the chimney. While authorities didn't doubt Chanel's explanation for how he had gotten stuck, the same couldn't be said for the reason he had climbed into the chimney in the first place.
Yeah. I don't know how they threw a book bag all the way in the chimney, but okay.
For starters, the chimney had reportedly been covered with a metal grating that would have prevented anything from accidentally falling inside, including his backpack. More importantly, the bag in question was found leaning against the garage door of the house.
Sir, stop it.
Based on Chanel's prior drug and theft convictions, investigators concluded that he was likely trying to use the chimney to gain access to the house so he could rob it, and he was subsequently charged with residential burglary.
He was on them substances, probably them bath salts.
He was ultimately sentenced to 17 months in prison. Unfortunately, none of the stories we came across specified why he was naked at the time of the incident, though it's possible he either removed his clothes beforehand or somehow took them off after becoming stuck in an effort to free himself.
That is interesting. Your chimney has a little cement roof. Yeah, usually they do that to keep animals and stuff from getting stuck. Scared Straight, Christmas edition.
In 2006, a mother in Rock Hill, South Carolina, decided to teach her son a lesson she hoped he'd never forget. According to reports, in early December of that year, a woman named Brandy Irvin
We heard this one.
Discovered that her 12-year-old son, Brandon Jones, had gotten into his Christmas presents early. Or to put it more accurately, Brandon had taken the Nintendo Game Boy Advance that he was supposed to get for Christmas from his great-grandmother's house next door without her knowledge or permission, had unwrapped it, and had secretly played with it. When Brandy figured out what her son had done and confronted him about it, he claimed he had no idea where the present was. So Brandy decided to call his bluff and contacted the police. By the time officers arrived, Brandon had confessed, but it was apparently too late.
That makes more sense too. Abella said didn't want to get dirty, maybe.
He was hauled off in handcuffs and taken to the police station, where he reportedly waited for hours for his mom to come pick him up. For those wondering why the incident triggered such a harsh response, apparently this was far from the first time that Brandon had gotten himself into serious trouble. According to reports, he had been caught stealing as early as kindergarten, and by the time he was in the 3rd grade, being suspended from school was a common occurrence.
He was an all-around bad kid. She was trying to make him behave.
For him. In the months before the Christmas-related incident, he had been kicked out of school and arrested for trying to hit a police officer.
Oh my goodness.
When Brandy was interviewed by local media, she said that having her son arrested was a last resort and that she didn't want him to become another statistic. Though she ended up pressing petty larceny charges against Brandon, she said he hoped that he would be placed in a disciplinary program as punishment. While it's unclear what happened to Brandon in the years since, there's one thing we know for sure. He definitely did not end up getting that Game Boy for Christmas. At the time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're at your wit's end, I can understand the tough love aspect of it, right? Like, that's what I'm thinking. She's a good mom. She's trying to teach him that these things are wrong and you can't do that. Not necessarily the stealing, but, you know, that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back.
Brandy said she was giving the device to someone else. Do you know of any other cases like this that you think we should check out? Tell us about them in the comments section below. As always, if you enjoyed our video.
So that was Crime Zone. Again, they're in the description box. And we saved the best for last. That is our lovely Zio, who put out a video yesterday. Make sure you go watch it on her channel too. And it's called The Christmas Massacre that destroyed an entire family. The Covina Massacre, Christmas Eve 2008. I'm going to not play the music because I don't want to get in trouble. I'm just going to skip it to her little funny guy. Y'all got to see this funny guy.
Being silent, anything said and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have the president with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questionings if you wish. All right.
Isn't he fun? He is some kind of twisted. Look at his crown of thorns he made there. It looks like he made it out of paper towels or something. Isn't that interesting? She has him in the beginning of all of her videos.
You good, dude?
That is so funny.
Hey, everybody. Today is 12/24 of 2020.
Look at the background. Isn't it cute?
It is 11 o'clock at night for me here. Happy Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I hope you and your family are spending an entire evening of
Merry Christmas.
Just joy and happiness and fun. I want to do just a small series over the next 2 days of when Christmas turns criminal. Did you know that crimes like theft and scams increased by nearly 20% during the holiday season? I
didn't know that. That's interesting. So she said that she's going to have another video out today. So make sure you guys go check out that video too. Hey, sweet Melissa. Thank you for being here. Sweet Melissa said, Merry Christmas, everyone. I will watch the replay. Well, thank you for that. My sister just left. I hope you had a nice time with your sister. Tatiana said, Christmas tree reminds me of St. Nicholas with all those presents under his coat. And 3 kings look alike with their hands full of presents for our newborn Savior. Yes. That is so sweet. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, our family's here.
I had no idea that that percentage was that high. The holidays are supposed to be for togetherness and cooking and fun, but sometimes beneath the surface, not everyone is in the spirit of goodwill. I'm sure you would agree. It's a magical season. It can bring out the worst in some people, though. You can have stresses, financial strain, heightened emotions,
Absolutely.
and even family separations that can cause unexpected crime stories, like the one we're going to talk about today on Christmas.
Yeah, I didn't even think about unexpected separations and things. And again, the whole reason of this stream was to kind of spend some time with you guys, because I know not everybody has things to do. And I just want to tell y'all the Speculating family loves y'all, and we're always here to support each other. And if you need to talk, you can feel free to email me. Hey, Roxanne. Roxanne said, Merry Christmas, all. I liked and subscribed, waiting for my grandson to come home and pick me up for a wonderful rest of the day. That's awesome. Merry Christmas, love. I hope you have a great day with your grandson. That's so sweet. So, Zaya's bringing up this crime right now that we're going to talk about.
Christmas Eve of 2008, 45-year-old Bruce Jeffrey Pardo entered a party at his former in-laws' residence in Covina, California. He was dressed up in a Santa costume, and he took the lives of 9 individuals, including that of his ex-wife. Marital issues are the presumed reason.
Oh my God. How horrible.
Behind the attack, as Sylvia filed for divorce a week before the incident. All of this information that I'm citing right now comes from an Instagram story that I read that I will be sharing in the description below, called the Covina Christmas Memoriam.
Okay, so she is in my description box. If you guys want to see that Instagram story, go over to her page and check the description box of this video that I'm playing right now. It's her most recent one, and you can get that story.
One single individual targeted not just the ex-wife, but her whole family and everybody that was at the party, who simply found themselves in the middle of the whole thing. He used a 9mm semi-automatic handgun, as well as a homemade flamethrower. He concealed it in gift wrap, and he used it to
Oh my God, a flamethrower?
pour gasoline, like you heard, race car fuel, throughout the residence and set their home on fire. After shooting several individuals, only 2 of which survived due to the severity of the fire. That made identifying individuals.
Yeah, I bet it would have been a very severe fire with like race car fuel or gasoline and a flamethrower. My God.
And the cause of death almost difficult to determine. Well, almost impossible to determine. 9 individuals did lose their lives and 3 were wounded. An 8-year-old niece of Sylvia was one who survived.
Oh my God. That poor child. I mean, I'm glad she survived, but the trauma she's going to have to deal with for her whole entire life. Lord have mercy. Oh, Roxanne. Yeah, I'm so glad that you're here. I try to shout out people every time I can if the chat's not moving too fast. And thank you for subscribing. You became part of the Speculating family when you subscribed. And we're all full of love and happiness here. And Christmas cheer today. Most of the time we're talking about tough subjects, but today we're full of Christmas cheer. For the most part, we're still talking about tough subjects, but you know what I mean.
That particular news story was on CBS Evening News. After the
Okay, Jenny Jen, thank you for being here, love.
Massacre, Pardo drove approximately 30 miles from the residence. He noticed it.
Wait a minute. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to clear my throat without muting. This is the 911 call, so I'll read it to you.
Was one who survived. That particular news story was on CBS Evening News. After the massacre.
So it says 911 call. Dang it. It went too fast. Hold on.
Particular news story was on CBS Evening News. After the massacre.
He's shooting my entire family is what the caller said.
Pardo,
the operator said, "What's your address, ma'am?"
Drove approximately.
Caller said, "He's shooting."
30 miles from the
operator said, "Ma'am, I understand. I need to know your address."
Residence. He noticed that he was burnt.
My daughter's been shot. She was shot in the face. Oh my God, y'all. Hold on, let me put this trigger warning up, and we'll go back after I read this and listen to everything Zio's saying during this call. Oh, dang, I did the wrong thing. All right, the banner's up. It continues.
Burnt, and so he decided
on
to
the side, and she's bleeding, said the caller.
Off himself.
Dang it. Ma'am, I'm understanding. The operator said, "Ma'am, I understand. I need to know your address." And the caller said, "I need a bandage, please."
Body was discovered with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It was discovered by the authorities that the rental car that
Please come immediately. The operator said, "Who's in your house?" The caller said, "Please come immediately."
Was using had been rigged with gunpowder. And
all right, let me back it up so we can hear everything she's saying right now.
Survived. That particular news story was on CBS Evening News. After the massacre, Pardo drove approximately 30 miles from the residence. He noticed that he was burnt, and so he decided to off himself. His body was discovered with a self-inflicted.
Oh my gosh, he shot himself afterwards.
Gunshot wound. It was discovered by the authorities that the rental car that Pardo was using had been rigged with gunpowder, and
he rigged the rental car with gunpowder?
His home had been described as containing a virtual factory of bombs.
Wow. He had a lot of problems going on.
So despite the nature of the crimes, though, Pardo did not have a criminal record before the massacre, but the atrocities of his actions have left 13 children orphaned.
The caller said, "I don't know who's alive." I couldn't quite catch it. Hold on. Well, now I'm going ahead. We're at 4:04. I'm at 3:57.
Before the massacre, but the atrocities of
caller said, "I don't know who else is alive whose
actions have left 13 children orphaned."
Oh my God. The consequences of his actions left 13 children orphaned. The operator said, I know, ma'am. Just stay on the phone with me, okay?"
Literally destroying an entire
911 caller said, "It's my whole family. There's 30 people, 25 people."
Entire family just to exact revenge against his ex-wife.
This man with bombs in his house rigged the rental car with gunpowder and all of that, destroyed an entire family just to hurt his ex-wife. That is so sad. Roxanne said, "Yep, but I'm feeling the cheer. I'm happy to have a new family and friends in crime online." Oh my gosh, I'm a retired dispatcher, and that would have been a very hard one for sure. Some stick with you. Oh, wow. Well, thank you for everything that you have done. And yeah, I couldn't imagine doing that. I've said that before. I could not imagine being a 911 dispatcher because I'd be wanting to run out and go try to help people that called.
Police were busy investigating the Christmas Eve massacre. Investigations in neighboring Sylmore, California, were called to the home of Brad Parda, who returned home from a Christmas party to find his brother lying face down in a pool of blood. Once the police arrived, they found a single gunshot wound from that 9mm handgun in Bruce's head. There was a 9mm pistol in Bruce's lap once he ran out of bullets. And he didn't realize that there was an open flame somewhere inside of the house. So it led to an explosion that literally left him horrifically burned and blew up the entire residence. Instead of driving to do the same thing to Sylvia's attorney, which was his original plan, he went to his brother's house because he was so badly burned and decided to take his own life. He was trying to find ways to get back at Sylvia. I think he decided that he wasn't going to just get rid of her, but he was going to get rid of everyone that she loved. And
yeah, that's probably what happened. Queen Anne, thank you for being here, love. And I hope you have a good day. Yeah, be safe, like Bad Girl said.
And wipe their family off of the planet. He was ordered to pay spousal support, but when the divorce actually finalized before the holiday, the spousal support ended up being waived at that time because he lost his job. In July, before this incident on Christmas Eve, Bruce's employer realized that he had been fraudulently billing his clients for hours he didn't actually work, and so he was fired.
Wow.
The owner of the shop where Pardo bought the Santa suit said that he was a regular customer there, so she was completely unaware of any malicious intentions. The Los Angeles County coroner identified all of Pardo's victims. Ex-wife Sylvia Pardo, 43.
I don't know. I mean, if somebody come in to buy a Santa suit around the holidays, I don't think anybody would find it suspicious.
Her parents, Joseph Ortega, who was 80, and his wife, Alicia, who was 70. Her two brothers, James Ortega, who was 52, Charles Ortega, who was 50, and their wives, Teresa, who was 51, and Sherry, who was 45. Sylvia Pardo's sister, Alicia Ortiz, was 46, and then her son, Michael Ortiz, who was 17. It was also speculated that Bruce Pardo had planned to go to his mother's house after to get revenge on his mother. He believed she was always defending his ex-wife, and we believe he was going to do the same to her.
His own mother. I mean, I think from what it sounds like, this man was already a little touched in the head, you know what I mean? And making bombs and stuff, and the wife just couldn't handle it anymore. He changed from the man she fell in love with to somebody completely different. And the mother was seeing this too and trying to explain to him, you know, she's right. You are changing, you know, you are acting weird. You are being overly aggressive, all the things. If I had to guess. And the mom was not necessarily being supportive of the wife, but calling him out on the things that she saw that he was doing, making bombs and stuff, you know?
We went to our usual party and we came home and we found the house on fire and all the cars in the driveway. So my husband and I stopped our car in the middle of the street, ran into the house to try and...
This is the neighbor, Teresa.
We thought it was just a fire. So we thought we would see if anybody was in there. We were hoping that nobody was in there. The fact that the cars were in the driveway was very worrisome. Yeah. And just then our neighbors, some other neighbors came out and said they're shooting. So we ran into another neighbor's house and laid on the floor and waited for the police and the fire department. But unfortunately, because there were shots fired, the fire department wasn't going to do anything. So we saw the house burning, and that day, because it was raining a little bit, it saved our house because the houses are connected by trees. They actually took a tree out, but the houses were connected by trees, so we thought for sure our house would be next. And
wow. Zan said, I came from a severely dysfunctional family. But no way I'd take them out like that, right? But, you know, we're normal thinking people, you know what I mean? You're eating an almond croissant. I had an almond in one of my candies I was eating. The kids are running by, sorry. Maybe poop in a bag and stoop and put it on the steps on fire, but that's about it, right?
Found out, my husband went to this house, which is where the family was. And we found out what happened, and we just couldn't believe it because this was not a family that there was normally any trouble on Christmas Eve. There was never any, it was unbelievable. We had no idea that.
It looks like the mother and father of Sylvia, Joseph and his wife, were from Torreon, Mexico. And so they had a big family. They were very dedicated as far as, you know, the family dynamics is concerned.
It was a horrible case of domestic violence, and it's further changed the way that I've taught my daughter to view people and warning signs, which there really weren't any. This came completely out of nowhere. He was people interviewed him from the FBI, and they never really saw anything coming. It was a very complicated man with very deep psychological issues, obviously.
So I heard her say just now that people had reviewed him or had interviewed him from the FBI. And I'm wondering if that has anything to do with maybe his history, his job history. I'm sure that some of my subscribers.
I want tamales too now that you say that.
Subscribers out here might know about this story and could fill me in on that.
Okay, and you said that you guys had no idea, like, of his thoughts or like anything that would trigger him into. Like,
no, you know, I never really liked him, and I don't know why that was. He was a little bit off-putting, and he gave me a very weird vibe. And then after she left him, she was back to her normal self. She went back in with her folks, and she was back to her normal self.
You guys arrived home and you noticed that the house was on fire. What made you want to help them, not knowing exactly what was going on?
I think just the human nature of, we didn't think it through. It was probably, we had 2 little kids in the car, so it probably was not our best decision because something could have happened to us running into a burning house. Firefighters run into a burning house. Normal people don't.
So you guys actually went inside?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
We got as close as we could, and the heat was so intense you couldn't go inside.
Oh my
God. We got kind of up to the door.
They were probably trying to help the family and get the kids out. Basil was just rubbing his face on my leg. I was like, what are you doing? They ran into the damn house, right? I mean, if I was a neighbor, I probably would have too, knowing there was kids in there. But yeah. Abella said, oh my God, I was just about to write that. It's crazy. It is crazy.
And that's what also was kind of a red flag for us, that it was not a normal fire because it was so hot that you couldn't get very close, and it was like a movie. You could see fire in every window.
Really?
And it was just
So yeah, it was 18 gallons, not just regular gasoline, but racing fuel. So it was burning at a higher temperature, and then an open flame in the house, whatever that was. Would have exacerbated the issue.
It was just
just
a crazy fire. But yeah, I don't know. That's one of those things where your brain doesn't work. You just go on. Maybe being parents, grief therapy is incredible. It really. I got the people from the city and the county of Los Angeles had some grief counselors come and talk to us.
The families aren't the only people that end up suffering. It's the neighbors around you in the neighborhood, the police officers, the firefighters.
And a lot of people don't think about that. The police and firefighters that have to run in and see these children deceased and things like that. Roxanne was saying, who was a 911 operator, those things stick with you.
Everybody that helps in these cases is human. And we should all keep that in mind whenever we're talking about these cases, that it doesn't just affect the victim and their immediate family. Sometimes this affects whole communities.
It was very difficult at night. That was a trigger. So I wouldn't come home to my house at night because it would trigger trauma for me. So I stayed at my parents' house for a long time, who lived down the street. And finally I decided, you know what, the kids have to go home to their house. We have to go on with our lives. We have to. So that's what I always tell my kids. The reason that I went on and moved on was that I had to get up every day. I had to take you guys to school. I had to feed you breakfast. You have to go on. You can't. And talking with the family members helped. Helping them heal helped us heal. Doing things for them. We did fundraising.
I could not imagine. And imagine their kids probably played with each other and all of that. And now their kid, because my kids are outside every day when they're done with their schoolwork for the day, they go outside and play with the neighbor kids, which, we all live on a big property, but they're always with the neighbor kids. Right. And you think about the kids next door, the kids in the neighborhood that played with those kids, and then find out that they died in that horrific way. I could not imagine. And that's things you don't think about, like Zio said.
Fundraisers, we still have the bags that they gave us that year.
While not a lot of people are in here, there are people in here. Zio, I need you to tell me, do you want me to call you Zio, or do you want me to call you how it's actually pronounced? Because I do that because I don't know what you want me to say.
Presents in them with their handwriting on it. We just can't. It's still, this helped a little bit having new people here, and they have a new baby. They have a little baby, so that's kind of neat too. It's nice to see life over there again. And
yeah, that is nice to see new life blooming over in a house where such a tragedy took place. Roxanne said, oh yes, first responders are touched by these things. I've looked into the faces of traumatized officers. I had to buck up everything. I was on the phone and radio through it. our day continues. Yeah. Okay. I just didn't, I didn't know. I wanted to make sure. So it's actually pronounced Hio, and it's pronounced like He-Man. So just so y'all know. So she's actually Hio. Xio is Hio.
And life renewing itself, but it's still, we've gotten better. It's been 10 years.
And that actually posted on December of 2019. So it's been a few more years since then. And it was very, very sweet to see the way that they portrayed the family, the respect that they had for the family.
That's sweet.
This was the newspaper where they told about the
$1,784
worth in spousal support. This was the body of Pardo. And this is the flamethrower that was wrapped. That is unbelievably scary.
That is unbelievably scary. It's sitting on a propane tank, and there's also, looks like oxygen tanks. So, yeah, like once that started, it's not stopping. My goodness. Yeah, we'll just call her Your Highness.
Scary, that right there. This is the remains of the Santa suit. The costume burned itself into his skin after he received third-degree burns. Play with fire, you're going to get burned. This was the remainder of the house at that time. This is Leticia Ortega, and she was a survivor of the incident. Katrina was the 8-year-old that survived.
Oh, it's good to see them smiling and happy. Oh my God. Katrina, it says, I survived being shot in the face, shot in the cheek, losing my family. A test is not going to break me. So I guess they're like testing for some kind of exam or college or to do a certain job or something. And yeah, no doubt, if you've had to suffer those things, it's amazing when people can turn that around into a positive. Like, you saying it like that, I've been shot in the face and I lost my whole entire family. Like this test that I'm about to take is a cakewalk,
Being shot in the face. And this is in remembrance of Alicia Ortega.
That's a domestic violence situation. I know if you text help to, I think it's 88788. I'm not sure. I'll leave it in the description box below for anybody dealing with domestic violence. Please seek help. Roxanne said that's like having waiting bombs each tank, right? Yes, in the face. Right. Unknown channel. Hi, and thank you for being here. Okay. We're going to stop that right now. If you're going to do that, you're going to have to roll out because we're not doing that. But if you want to stop doing that, because we don't do that here, you're more than welcome to hang out. But if you continue to do that, I'll have to block you. Alrighty. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That is such a disgusting thing to say. Like, I don't even understand why you would do that. Do you think it's funny? I don't care who you are. Anyway, Roxanne said, oh my gosh, shot in the face. And she bravely goes on. My kudos, right? It's amazing testament of, it's something to admire for sure. Not the fact that she was shot in the face, but the fact that she turned it around into a positive and used it to make her life better. It's just a testament. I'm glad you did too, Zan.
Oh, she said she was 8 when the man dressed as Santa Claus shot her in the face and then got rid of 9 of her family members. It's devastating. It was really nice to see the new house up here. I really like that they post that. And these girls wrote, just being where they rebuilt the home felt amazing. It was extremely peaceful, and they shared laughter with each other. It was a great experience, and she was really happy to hear more about the Ortega family. So it says for the police department, some of the
Abellis, thank you. He needed a timeout.
Officers that responded, they still work for the department. And they still follow up on leads and stuff all these years later. It's interesting. I'm sure they've learned a lot from that. So this says she worked to save Christmas for her kids, telling them that wasn't the real Santa, and calling friends from the hospital to make sure gifts were put under their tree. The kids were later sent to a camp that helps with grief. Oh my God.
That is and I'm glad that these children got all the help they needed. But could you imagine being a child and then that coming in? You think it might actually be Santa Claus. We were watching The Grinch last night, and the little girl thought it was Santa Claus, and she thought because they had trapped Santa that Santa was the one who did it. And we all know it ended up being the Grinch. I mean, imagine that in real life. How would you even have Christmas anymore for your children that survived, or the children that survived? They would be traumatized about Christmas and everything.
Gosh. She's now 41. She's had years of therapy that have helped, although she still suffers from anxiety and nightmares. Since I lost my identity completely, I also used to tease them that I have 5 sets of parents, everyone telling me what to do and how to do it. I can't even tell you how much I miss them. An overwhelming but hard to describe feeling of loss often sneaks up, especially in December. Everywhere you turn, there are memories of what we used to have, and when memories of that night, you can't escape it.
Exactly, Hio. I don't know, Abellis. We've been out into the algorithm, so they find it. We just have to be vigilant, and I try to give people a chance, but
More than 9 years later, Katrina, 17, is joining a growing number of teenagers who have survived gun violence, and they're demanding change to weapons laws. She and students across California and the U.S. joined for the 17 minutes on Wednesday. That was December 11, 2019. She and students across California and the U.S. joined for the 17 minutes on Wednesday, each minute representing a victim of the February 14th shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Katrina and her close friend created a video to help spread the word about the walkout at their school in Pasadena, telling peers that it's their duty to stand together as a generation to demand change. This is Joseph and his wife. This is Sylvia Ortega. She was the wife of Pardo. She was always interested in business and took a job as a secretary out of high school. Family members said Sylvia.
Look, she was absolutely beautiful.
Sylvia was a hard worker and carried a cheerful demeanor. And
she was a hard worker and carried a cheerful demeanor. I'm glad that you found all this information about them, Hio. Roxanne said, I think that's why firefighters and police officers sponsor so many kids at Christmas. Yeah, it makes sense. That one didn't deserve a chance. Or the one the other day. Yeah, I know. Sometimes I'm overly nice.
And this is a picture of the Ortega family enjoying a shared moment with one another through preparing traditional foods for the holidays and creating friendships among their community. It's for the kindness, traditions, and generosity that their family and friends remember their loved ones.
Aww.
That was the first story in When Christmas Turns Criminal series. As always, thank you for hanging with Hio.
So that was Hio's video, and like she said, she's going to have another one out later today, so make sure you guys go check her out. She just got monetized, so if you're able to, make sure you join her memberships as well. Hey, Mello's arrest warrant. You're not late. I'm about to end the stream, but you got here right when you were supposed to. Zan said, was married to a cop for 10 years, takes its toll. I finally had to divorce an out of control alcoholic. Yeah, a lot of people, unfortunately, have to deal with things like that because, just not, I'm sorry that you had to deal with that, but being a cop, it's easy. I mean, you have to, I don't even know what to say. Seeing the things that they see and dealing with the things that they deal with, I could very much understand, unfortunately, turning to alcohol or substances and using them to try to cope, and then you lose everything. It's really sad. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas as well, Mello's arrest warrant, and thank you for being here. Very cool. Poor family, good grief, I know. We ended on kind of a sad note, but I hope that you guys have a good Christmas. We will end with another Christmas song that's kind of sweet. Creeps about even online, unfortunately. It must be too late for this year, but I make crochet hats and pick up little goodies, munchies, and toys officers can give out during this time of year. That is so sweet. I crochet stuff too. I crocheted my moderator's Christmas ornaments this year. Drinking was the coping mechanism, right? Basil is cleaning himself right now. He's right here on the bed with me. He's cleaning his back. I love y'all, and thank you for being part of the Speculating family, and thank you for hanging out with me today. I will be back tomorrow. We're going to talk about Jennifer Soto's immunity deal. I'm going to go get to cooking. Everybody be festive. Yes, enjoy time with your family and your little ones, and enjoy your holiday. And Merry Christmas. Thank you guys again so much for hanging out, and I love y'all. Love my Speculating family. And yeah, Merry Christmas. I hope that you guys eat until you can't eat anymore. And I hope you got some stuff for Christmas that you can check out and play with and all of that stuff. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Merry Christmas again. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Oh, let me play one more time before I try to change it later today. I might still have it tomorrow, but we'll at least play it one more time today before I change it. The Polar Express. We're going to have to watch this, me and the kids. So there we go. There's our Polar Express for today. If I have time, I'm going to change it to maybe Crazy Trade or something if I don't get in trouble for playing it. You just got some ornament patterns. I get them off of Pinterest all the time. I like Polar Express too. Abella said, Joyeux Noel. I don't know how to say that. Lovely. Yes. Enjoy your Christmas, everybody. And again, thank you for hanging out with me here today. Make sure, again, to check out Zio. And the other videos that I played are also linked in the description box below. Zio should have another video out later today. Love y'all. Again, I love my Speculating family, and Merry Christmas. I will post in my community post that thing about Christmas actually not being pagan. Bye.